Hallo und willkommen zu Deutsche Küche. I'm just kidding. We are not going to do a German cooking today. It's too extensive. However, this is a cooking show for your pet. And today we are going to discuss how to cook for your cat. Now remember, cats are obligate carnivores. Unlike people and dogs, they do require meat in their diet. They rely on the protein in their diet to produce energy and sugar. So, unlike humans and dogs, cats absolutely must have meat in their diet. So if you are feeding your cat exclusively fish diet and getting them tuna fish from the store and things like that, that's not good. It will create deficiencies in your cat, and your cat will become lethargic, ataxic, meaning it will be walking funny, it will fall over, and eventually they can even have seizures. Now, if you feed a commercial diet, which is fish-based, that is still good because commercial diet is supplemented with all the required nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. However, no commercial diet is a match for a home-cooked delicious meal. Remember, none of us have enough time to cook for ourselves, not to mention our pets. However, what we are going to discuss today is cooking and supplementing your commercial food diet for your cat with meat. Now, we're going to pre-cook meat. It's not going to be a fully cooked meal. And the reason for that is because if you cook meat, then all the nutrients and vitamins and minerals are going to be killed. So what do? We're going to pre-cook meat. And for that, we're going to buy some type of meat such as beef. Remember, people are asking me, is that just beef that is good, or can I feed my cat any other meat? And the answer to that question is yes, you can feed your cat any type of meat. However, remember that beef is a good source of not only protein like every other meat, but it also has very important nutrients and very important vitamins that cats require, such as, for example, vitamin B. It has iron that is extremely important for older cats, and it has omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids and other minerals. So if you feed or supplement rather your cat with pre-cooked meat, you will see a difference in energy. You will see that the coat is looking better, your cat eats less, it's losing weight rather, and goes back to a normal weight, has more energy and is more herself and is happier. So therefore, I'm going to teach you what you do. The whole process takes only 5 minutes. I'm going to show you step-by-step instructions, but once you get used to it, it will be, very quick procedure for you. While you're boiling water for yourself in the morning for your coffee and for your tea, you can pre-cook some meat as a supplement for your cat. So what I do is I go to the store and I get something like that. It's called certified Angus beef round stir fry. You don't have to spend a lot of money on the meat, but do get a good quality meat that doesn't have any colorings and is not too pre-processed. And the reason I use stir fry, you don't have to, but I use stir fry because it's so easy to cut in very small bite-sized pieces. I take about 5 little strips, okay? 5 little strips, and I put it in a colander, and we have to rinse it in a cold water. Always rinse meat in cold water because it can have bacteria as well as all the bleach that they're using to wash, to process meat. So you want to always rinse in cold water. So you rinse it well in cold water, and after you're done, and I'm going to do it just quickly, but you have to rinse it really thoroughly, but for the purpose of time, I'm going to do it 1, 2, 3. And so then you can pat it dry or not, put it on your cutting board, okay, and then chop, chop, chop in small bite-sized pieces. Using serrated knife, it's always easier to cut in small pieces. So you're going to chop it quickly in a very small bite-sized pieces, because otherwise your cat might vomit. So you chop it in very tiny pieces, just like that. And again, it will take you few seconds once you do it a few times. And then I'm going to use a deep bowl, and you'll see why. And I put this meat right back in, all these tiny bite-sized pieces, in one layer. We don't want to put a pile of meat, because then each cube will not be really processed by hot boiling water. So we want one layer of this meat on the bottom of that plate. Then you already have your boiled water, okay? So then I take my boiled water and I pour it over to cover those little bite-sized pieces. Pour it right over. So it looks about like that. Your little pieces are swimming in that hot boiled water. And then I'm going to cover it with a plate, okay? I'm going to cover it with a plate so it can sit and get processed by hot boiled water, and that will kill all the bacteria or residual whatever on that meat. So I'm going to cover it and let it sit. So meanwhile, you can go brush your teeth, you can do other things. So let it sit for 10 minutes or longer until it cools down or is room temperature. Remember, if you are going to give it hot to your cat, you can do some damage. So pretend that 10 minutes passed for sake of time. You come back, you feel it, and the water is easy and very pleasant on the touch. It's not hot. Then you have to use the same colander you had before, and you have to drain the water out of this meat, which I'm going to do just like that, and then put those pieces back on the plate. Now that portion is going to be worth 2 days of supplement to your cat. So what I usually do, if your cat is on a regular commercial diet, you should decrease the amount of food you are feeding your cat and give this instead of a meal or in between the meals. If your cat eats regular portion or less and then you give this, your cat will vomit because it will eat too fast, too much. So you want to do it instead of one of the feedings or in between as a supplement. And all you have to do is really just a little bit, like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons. You don't want to give too much. Your cat will vomit. So I take a tablespoon of meat, put it on a plate, okay, and I give it to the cat. And that is her portion. It looks very tiny, but believe it or not, your cat will be very satisfied eating that portion and will not require to eat more. And will get all the good nutrients in a raw meat, yet it is not raw, but processed by hot boiling water, because now it won't have any bacteria or anything bad on the meat, but all the good nutrients and all the good stuff is going to be left in the meat. So that concludes our session. You're going to use the leftover of that pre-cooked meat, so to say, put it in a Ziploc bag, put it in your refrigerator, and next morning you can use it, next day you can use it as another day of supplement. And then keep this refrigerated, and so in 2-3 days you take another few strips and you do the same thing and you cook it again for a day or two of supplements. Now remember, I do not recommend to discontinue commercial food because none of us has leisure of cooking for your cat all the time, and you can do it as you can. If you go to the store once a week and you can get it, that's great. If you haven't gotten to the store for 2-3 weeks and your cat is just on plain commercial diet, it's better to give it at some time than never, okay? So sometime, but better than never. So whenever you remember, whenever you are in the store and you do, and you are in the mood to cook for your cat, this is what you get. And again, remember, beef is good because it's a source of vitamin B that is very important for cats. It's a source of amino acids, omega-3 and omega-6. It's a source of minerals and also a source of iron. And because cats get their energy from protein and they get their sugar from degrading the protein, that is extremely important in cats' diet, unlike dogs and humans. Another thing, just briefly before we conclude our session for today, I would like to recommend that you also give fresh milk to your cat. Remember, fresh whole milk. Daily, half a cup of that milk Your cat will be thankful, and you will thank me. And the reason for that, I know that a lot of thoughts are there right now that milk is no good for your cat, etc., etc. And it is true. Some cats are lactose intolerant, just like people. And therefore, if you notice that you give milk to your cat and your cat vomits, that might not be an ideal product for her or him. So make sure it's fresh, make sure it's whole, it's not skimmed, half, partial, whatever. So it's a whole, good quality milk. And your cat will be grateful that you introduce something like that to your cat. So it's a source, again, of protein. It's a source of calcium that older cats are lacking because they are no longer hunting and eating bones of those little critters. So milk daily, and that's easy to do. So you go to the store, you buy a gallon of good quality milk, and it lasts you weeks, 1 or 2 weeks. Meat, when you can, that would be great. If you cannot, don't fret about it, just continue feeding the commercial diet. Now, I hope that helped, and I hope that your cats are happy and live long lives and are very grateful that you have them and that you are happy to have them in your life and live together happy ever after. So until next time, thank you and have a wonderful day.